Hey, what is going on? Welcome to the Sync Producer Hub Spotlight. If you're wondering what this is all about, basically what we do is we're all part of a community called the Sync Producer Hub. It was started by Anthony Clint Jr., and what he does is he helps musicians, artists, music producers, composers get their music into TV and film. And the cool part about that is that once you make that music and you get it into TV and film, it starts making you money. You start getting back end royalties. So that one piece of music that you make one time can get you paid again and again. And the longer you do it, the more it builds up, the more it snowballs. And then before you know it, you're making a good chunk of change with your music. And I know a lot of musicians out there, that's the dream, right? Like if you could just do music all day instead of working your 9 to 5, and there's a way to do that, why not explore that? So if you're interested, there is a link in the description. You can check that out. But today we are shining the spotlight on one of our Sync Producer Hub members. Let me go ahead, and Mr. Karl Stokes is joining us today, and he found a way to get a lot of streams for some of the work that he's done with artists. He's from the Virginia area, like the Virginia Beach area. And I've spent a lot of time in that Newport News area. So I know the talent there is crazy. There must be something in the water. I don't know what's going on there, but you've got, Missy Elliott, Timberland, Teddy Riley, Neptunes, Pharrell, right? All of those people coming out of there. You know that he comes from a long pool of talent, at least in his area. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring him on. What's
How's it
up?
going? What's going
Hey,
on?
it's going good, going good. Janie HB's in the house real quick. Janelle's in the house. And then I think I saw Brian Ward here earlier. What's up? Just going to say what's up to everybody. So where are you and what are you doing?
I am in Suffolk, Virginia. Um, right now, I'm working a 9 to 5, like you were just talking about. Just trying to be able to do this full time some way and somehow. And yeah, just a marathon. So I'm just trying to take it one day at a time.
Awesome, awesome. And you mentioned earlier you came over to your grandma's house to do this
Yeah,
interview,
yeah.
and she don't have
Gotta be peace and
Wi-Fi.
quiet. Gotta be peace and quiet. No, but
Uh,
data's good. Data's good. So we good.
all right, well, keep your voice down. We don't want to. We don't want to wake grandma up or make your house too noisy. All right, cool, cool. Well, let's get started. So, let's start with, what did you find your passion for it? How did you get into it?
I started around 2019 after I graduated high school. One of my friends used to make music. Matter of fact, I didn't make music at the time, and I sent him a song. It was all out of a joke because it took me a long time to either make a drum pattern. So I sent it to him, and he asked me a question that kind of changed my point of view of music. He was like, "Why didn't you build off of that?" And it kind of had me like stuck a little bit. So he told me to come over, and it started as a hobby. And I bought a laptop for college and stuff like that. That was just for college only. I was like,
Mhm.
why not? I got a laptop. Let me download FL Studio up there. And I went to college and everything like that. And that's actually how I met actually one of the people that's in the producer hub, TJ Covington. Met him in college. I was a freshman at the time. He was a senior at the time, and he used to mentor me and everything like that, like twice a week, like how to work in FL, what to do, shortcuts, all that good stuff. And I ended up transferring back home and everything like that. And with the pandemic and stuff shutting down everything, you
Mhm.
know, it was basically the pandemic was basically like my school in a way, and I was just practicing, practicing, practicing. So
Yeah, that pandemic was like a gift and a curse to a lot of people,
yeah,
Like, people found a lot of people got to work from home, got to spend more family time, or some people, I mean, unfortunately, like, lost a lot of, like, their job or money during that time. But, um, just from the people that I personally know that went through some of that, they learned a lot of, like, you gain a new perspective when you hop out of the rat race for a minute, you know, and you start to see kind of what's really important in life. And it sounds like to you, it was learning music and getting into music. So
right.
So who's some of your favorite producers, artists? Like who do you kind of model your style after? Because I know in the beginning, you know, you kind of start with what other people are doing until you find your, you know, unique signature stuff.
Um, my favorite producers, I like, Jay Dilla, Teddy Riley, Metro Boomin, um, Ninth Wonder. It's various ones. I take inspirations from all the different producers that I just mentioned and some others that I didn't, and kind of
Hmm.
put my own little spin to it. So I still have my originality to it and everything like that. And then artists, like J. Cole. Um, it's not too many like artists. I like the underground artists a little bit more, like the up and coming, like how I'm an up
Hmm.
and coming producer and stuff like that, just to see who's around and everything like that, and just listen to them a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. It, J. Cole, it's interesting that you went back in time and then like because you're you know you're so young, like you went all the way back to Jay Dilla. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
yeah.
so I guess there was some of that going just playing in your house when you were growing up, right? And that influenced you.
I grew up with parents that didn't let me listen to a lot of like all the newer stuff at the time. So with some of my friends listening to like, the Drakes and the Little Waynes and stuff like that, I might be listening to the Isley Brothers or the Jacksons or Mary J. Blige or like all any of them people like that. That's all I could listen to unless it was just like new stuff on the radio that they were listening to at the time. It wasn't any of the new rap or stuff at the time. So I had to play catch up, to be honest. Some of my
Yeah.
friends were like, "Oh, remember that song from middle school?" I'm like, I never heard of it. You know.
Yeah, I grew up with parents kind of like that too, who really kind of restricted what you could, you know, listen to and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
um, that's a gift and a curse as well, because like having parents like that means that they care, you know, about you and your safety and your, you know, just like the type of person you're going to grow up to become. But the curse is you don't get to listen to everything you want to listen to, and you miss out on stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, Clint's in the house. What's up? What's up, Clint? We were just talking about the hub, and then Tim Bird popped in too. So OG, as you call him,
OG. Yeah. OG.
from
Yeah.
Newport News, Virginia. So more talent coming out of that area. All right, so you got onto the FL Studio. It's COVID time. You're spending
All right.
time like learning the ropes, learning how to use it, and all of that. What's something that maybe you're proud of that you made on FL Studio during that time?
Um, at that time, I would say, to be honest, my first instrumental album that I have out. Um, I released my first instrumental album in 2020. So it was around summertime. So that's when the pandemic really kicked off. All that shutdown stuff really kicked off.
Yeah.
So I would say that would probably be the best thing I made around that time frame was my first instrumental album to kind of give people an idea what I'm making and everything like that, even though that was just the beginning.
Hmm.
And now that I look back, so I say that's the best thing at the
That's
time.
good. Yeah, and you know what? We're about to hop into that. Hold on. Let me bring up. It's on Spotify.
Right.
Um, the link that you sent me was it was a song called Smile,
Yeah.
but then I see this. I think is it like is there an album? I see all the same cover to like Amen, Sunsets and BA switched up. Is that are those tracks from your album?
That's from my third instrumental album called Stokes and Soul. And that's
Okay.
all sample based, but I got all the samples from TrackLib and stuff just in case, it can be cleared easily and everything like that, or if song blows up, I ain't getting sued or anything crazy like that. We all good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I know for Sync in particular, they like you to, even if you're getting your samples from like Splice or TrackLib or you know a place like that, and sometimes they'll give you like rights to it and all of that. The
right.
only thing to watch out for though is if you use, let's say you have like a guitar part or something, right? That's real distinguishable, and then
Yeah.
some other producer uses that same guitar. in their track, and you don't manipulate it at all or chop it up or anything like that, it's going to sound like the same production.
Right.
And that's where it can get kind of murky waters sometimes. So something to think about as you're submitting to like music libraries and stuff.
Yeah, I submit everything mainly scratch when I submit to music libraries. I kind of stay away from that instrumental album. I might ask, just in case they might be lenient. I don't know, but most of the time I stay away from it typically.
Okay, cool. Sounds like you've been through all the courses in in the hub then.
Yeah.
Clint probably gave you that advice, I'm sure. Okay, well let's hop right into it. So like one of your songs. So I have here, let me share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at. Because
Okay.
normally, somebody like you send a link and then normally somebody will send like 2 or 3 songs. So I'm gonna let you pick what you would like to share. So hold up. I don't know if you can see that. The very first song is Smile,
Yeah.
and then there's some other songs here.
Yeah, you could do a Smile. I like Smile a lot.
Okay. What would you like us to know about it?
Um, the reason why it's named Smile because it was actually one of the few songs I was making. I made it a couple of years ago. And I don't know, it's like the vibes of the song that I was making, I could not stop smiling. And I'm not usually like that when I'm making music. I'm usually serious. I'm usually locked in and everything like that. So it was just like I couldn't stop moving and everything like that. So I was like, I'm gonna just name this Smile, keep it simple.
All right. Cool. Well, hopefully I hear you, man. If the whole time you're making a song, you're smiling, you know that it's like effortless, right?
Right.
Like some songs, sometimes I'll work on a track for like I worked on this one track last weekend for like I would say 5 or 6 hours. Normally I'm like 2 to 3 hours or so, for me to make a track. And I've worked on it for like a long time, and then by the end of it, I was like, this is still not hitting the mark. It's not what I want. It's not meeting what I'm trying to do. It's those ones that take less time that feel like so easy to make, like you're in tune with the music and the universe, and you just make it, and it's like your best sounding stuff because there's like no resistance.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and if you were smiling the whole time, I have a feeling this is one of those types of tracks.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing real quick just because I'm
Okay.
not sure if I click that system audio button. Hold on, let's see. Hold on, let me stop sharing. I would hate to start push play and then it turns out I wasn't sharing the audio. So let me
Right.
do that. I don't want to make that mistake. All right. Also share tab audio. All right, we're good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to smile. Let's go. Let's go. All right, hold on. I got to push pause. There we go. All right. That mix was on point. It had all the feels. The instrumentation was amazing. Not that I'm like reviewing or anything, but
Yeah.
um, um, how old are you?
I'm 25. I just turned 25 a couple weeks ago.
If you're making music that sounds like that this early in your career, I think you're going to do great things and you're going to go far.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Clint, everybody was fire emojis. Clint says you can't help but rock to it. You got people smiling. Um, yeah, Red Ray. What's up, Ray Garcia? Giving you some fire emojis, loving the horns. And that song was like, it was Virginia. Like that was Virginia Beach in a song.
You think so?
Yeah, it had that
Okay.
like I could hear like the chord progressions a little bit. I could hear like Neptune's influence a little bit there, and it
Yeah.
takes me back to back. That's where I proposed to my wife, was at Virginia Beach. So it kind of
Oh
reminded me
wow. Okay.
of that experience, you know. So that's dope.
Thank you.
What?
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. So now let's talk about when you found the hub. Like when did you decide, hey, maybe I want to get my music into TV and film and join the Sync Producer Hub?
Um, I want to say it was a couple years ago. I think I might have seen Clint on my Explore page, maybe. I think, and I heard of Sync in general, but I didn't know where to go, like how it worked, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I seen it kept popping up. At first, I was kind of like, "Nah, I'm good with the courses and all that stuff. I'm okay." And then he kept popping up on my stuff. I mean, you like one thing, and then all of a sudden, a whole bunch of plethora of things pop up with Sync, and he kept popping up. So I was just like, let me give it a shot. Why not?" And there's so much value in there. I ended up getting a notebook so I could write down so much notes and stuff like that I still have to this day.
Mm-hmm.
um Learning about stings and metadata and point edit points and all that good stuff, all the alternate versions and all that stuff. I didn't know too much about any of that for real before I joined it, so I'm glad I stumbled across it.
Clint, I don't know what it is, but he's got the algorithm down. Like Clint finds the people who need him. Each one of these interviews, I say that, and or I say, "Well, how did you find the hub?" They're like, "I don't know. Clint just kept popping up in my Facebook or in my YouTube or whatever it is, right?"
Yeah.
Where you said you just finished school. Where'd you go to school and what'd you study?
Well, originally I went to school I went to Bridgewater College, which is about 15 minutes away from James Madison University. I don't know if you heard of James Madison,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
um I was there for one semester. Then I came back home. Transferred back home to do community college. And after community college, that's when the pandemic hit. And now I'm
Mm,
hearing about potentially having to pay full price and I'm at home and stuff. I'm
mm,
like, nah, I'm good. I just I just dropped out. Yeah. Parents,
yeah.
well, my dad was okay with it. My mom wasn't too happy at first. But
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Oh, Clint popped in here. I appreciate y'all taking a chance on me.
yeah,
There you go. And I can tell you the Sync Producer Hub is a lot cheaper than Bridgewater College
yeah,
or whatever it is, right? But that does bring up something interesting. Like um, college, I mean, everybody's got their opinion. I believe in higher education. I believe in like always learning throughout your entire life. You should always be learning, right?
right.
But the university route isn't what it used to be. The costs have gone up and the benefits have gone down. If you went to college back in the 70s or something, you were one of the elites because not everybody was going to college back then, and that investment that you made really paid off. Now, there's so many people that get that a whole bachelor's degree or even doctorates and masters that are having trouble just getting a normal paying job, you know, just like a livable wage. Where I work, I would say so I'm like a team leader for some people that support AI technology
Okay.
and like support tickets, right? You're like, oh, you know, I want to renew my subscription and I can't figure it out, you know, stuff like that, right? Entry level job, and some of them have all of them have bachelors. Some of them have masters even. Like I know two people that have master's degrees that are working in that entry level job and have been at it for like 2-3 years. So like it's it's tough with it. I'm glad that you were wise enough to have kind of that foresight to say okay and to weigh the costs, right? Like dropping out. Well, let me put it this way: there's always like a bad stigma with the word quitting, right? When people are like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
dropped out, that's bad," you know, that's a bad thing. No, quitting something that doesn't make sense is always a good idea, right? And at the time, it may have not made sense for you. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Like, are you happy with the decision you made, or what?
I think so. It's kind of betting on myself because at the time, I'll never forget. I was at the kitchen table. My mom had all the stuff like organized on the table to help me organize in class and organize for classes and stuff. And that was the first time where I was like, yeah, mama, I'm not going back to school. I'm dropping out, just like that. And it didn't go as well at first. But then once, she started to see what was going on, and know that I'm not like just sitting around the house all day or, I'm working towards something and
Mm-hmm.
she's seeing progress on top of that, she kind of laxed up. My dad did as well too. So it's like as long as they see what's going on and they see that you're putting effort and time and dedication to it, they're really gonna get off your back after that, you know.
Yeah, and if they see some results too, right?
Right. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit off topic of music and everything, but like, you know, I have kids and they're growing up fast, and whatever they want to do, you know, we're going to support them. But like, if you're not necessarily going to know what you want to do for the rest of your life, you know, early on, like when you're 18 or whatever, right? So, um, what I would encourage them to do if they're still a little aimless, still like figuring it out, is like learn a trade. Trades are not going to get replaced by AI anytime soon. So like, you know, learn whatever your trade is. Like for them, I have girls, so maybe hairstyling or something like that, or maybe they'll want to be an electrician. I don't know, but like, uh, buildings need electricity. People need their haircut, right? Like you can look at all those types of things too. If you're ever tight for money and it's a shorter learning curve, to get you through some of those times. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
All right. Tim Bird says, "Brave. My parents freaked out." So he must have had the
Yeah.
same situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then B Word says, "Smooth." All right. Cool. Well, let's talk about the hub. Let's bring it back to sync music, getting into TV and film. What have you learned with all of that? And have you had any success or feedback or any of that along the way?
Uh Success. I know recently TJ and I got one of our songs signed to Howling Music recently.
Oh,
About a
cool.
about a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, somewhere around that. Um, and then I have on TuneEdge, I have like 40 something songs and on their catalog or something, like all the songs that I submitted for that's on my personal catalog that's from scratch and stuff. I was just submitting to them and then other stuff
Hmm.
too. And they were just accepting it and everything. So
Okay. Awesome. Congrats. Have
yeah.
you been reaching out to other music libraries, pitching to any of the
Yes.
exclusive ones? Yeah.
Yeah, I have. Obviously, it's part of the game, either rejections or not right now or whatever, stuff like that.
All right. How long you been doing it?
Um, I say at least over a year and some change. I'm still kind of fairly new with, everything, but I've been in it a little long, but not that long.
I'm glad you said that. That is a good perspective to have. Like, it sounds like you have a long-term mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was 25, I did not. So you were miles ahead of where I was when I was 25. I just learned all about the long-term mindset like this late in life, right?
It's
Um,
better late than never, you know.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Everybody's saying congratulations, by the way, on your Tune Edge and the
Appreciate y'all.
yeah, and the other one. Um, and then Clint said landscaping and plumbing. Those robots ain't gonna be doing that anytime soon.
Right.
All right. Oh, another congrats from Janelle there. Okay. Well, I'll share one of my stories. So, like, there's one music library that I'm working with now that I submitted to in February of 2025. Right?
Okay.
And they signed me on as a composer maybe, I don't know, 3 months ago, so maybe March this year. So it was over a year. Like I've sent them a submission February 2025, and then I submitted another one like maybe December of 2025, something like that. And then they wrote me back in like February of this year, or no, March this year. And they were like, "Hey, we want to sign you as a composer." So just know that your emails that you've been sending this year, and maybe you haven't heard back from a lot of them, uh, it's not going off into the void. It's not like just disappearing. Like it'll come back to you one day. You just got to keep grinding, keep sending, and keep doing it. Um, and a lot of them have like seasons where, oh, we got to get all this music out for this show, that show, this show. So they don't have time to like look at the music submission for new composers, or they just have all the composers that they need right now. But then, maybe, some of their composers leave them all of a sudden. Now they go to their submissions, like 8 months later after you submit it, and then they'll look at your email. So just know it kind of works like that for a lot of them.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but you know that. You have the long-term mindset.
Right.
All right, cool. So, let's see. You posted a win in the hub recently where you talked about you got a lot of streams for one of your pieces of music. Let us know
Right.
how that happened, and because that's exciting. I've never had a lot of streams on my music. I've just been focused on this sync thing. So, how did
Right.
that come about, and were you excited when you saw that?
Um, well, one, yes, I was extremely excited. Because one, I never had that many streams in general, whether it's my personal stuff or not. And how that happened was I seen this one Christian artist on TikTok. Shout out to Definitely D. Um, I seen him on TikTok. This is before he started to even kind of like get traction and stuff. I was like, I think his stuff meshes with my stuff. So I DM'd him on TikTok and stuff, and he sent me an email or sent me his email address, and I sent him a couple beats. It kind of went a little, I didn't say stale, but we didn't hear back from him a little bit. And then when I came back on TikTok, and one of his songs started to blow up on the Christian hip hop world, like it was starting to really pop. And I was like, I knew I won't trip, and I was like, I can see him blowing up. And then that happened. Then I hit him back again, and he was like, I need some more beats or whatever. So I
Mhm.
think one of the beats that hit I have a million streams happened to be in that pack. And I sent it to him, and he went straight to work. He sent me the demo and stuff. Uh, and then it was released as a single at first. And
Mhm.
then he released it on his EP. And yeah, and his stuff was starting to catch traction anyway. So I was just part of that momentum with the rest of his songs.
That's awesome. There's a big lesson to take from that. First of all, if you never reach out to anybody, nothing like that will ever happen to you, right? If nobody
Right.
knows you're making beats, if you're not, trying to reach artists. And the second thing was you were an actual fan of his music, or is it a he?
Yes, he, yeah.
Okay. What was his name
Yeah.
again?
His artist name is Definitely D.
Definitely D, right? That
Yep.
could go either
Yep.
way, so I wasn't sure. Didn't want to make
Right.
it
Yeah.
sound true. Okay, so definitely D.
Yeah.
You probably like, you're vibing with it, right? You
Yeah.
genuinely were into that type of music. You felt like you were a match. So when you reached out, it wasn't this random just spray shot of trying to reach everybody at once. You narrowed in on somebody that was a good fit for you, that made sense, that you were a fan of their style, and you could collaborate with, and you knew it'd be good if you collaborated with them. So targeted outreach um,
Yep.
for and genuine outreach.
Yep.
Both of those things are a kind of a tool in the toolkit that I think a lot of us producers and musicians don't use nearly enough. So good job. That's brave to do, right? Just to DM somebody out of the blue.
Yeah. And we're still locked in to this day. Actually got a project that's coming out. I produced one of the songs up there as well. That's coming out sometime on the 7th, of
Okay.
August.
All right. Well, congratulations. That's amazing. 1 million streams. It can happen, folks. I know. What is that, like $4 for Spotify? I don't know. Like,
It depends. Yeah, it depends. I've seen decent MLC checks and decent BMI checks. It's not, it depends, I
okay,
guess, on the quarter, I guess.
good, good. Well, I'm glad there's real money coming out of that because you always hear horror stories of streaming.
Yeah.
I do know that they have an option on your Spotify app now. I saw this. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong, but you
Okay.
can cut out all the AI. You can say I don't want any AI music, like as a
I
consumer.
I think so. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't released as an artist, like singles and stuff is in a minute, so I'm not sure. I would have to ask somebody like him or something like that. I'm not sure.
All right, definitely D.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, congratulations from Janie HB. Great job. That's amazing. Um, yeah, so I think that's the gem we take away from that. So everybody who's watching this, if you want to get on a song that might get 1 million streams, find those artists in TikTok, Instagram, wherever you spend most of your time, somebody you genuinely feel like you would be a good fit for, say what's up and see if you're a fit. All
Yep.
right. So, all right. So we went through. Let's play your next track. So let me share my screen real quick.
All right.
I'm gonna name off some tracks, and you
Okay.
let me know which one we should listen to. So we got Bonafide,
Okay.
Amen, Sunsets in VA, Switched Up, Old Man in a Young Man's Body. That's you with
Yeah.
your long-term thinking. Mystery, 1984, Beach Night. That's just what's showing on
Yeah.
the top 10.
I guess you could do 1984. Uh,
1984.
I guess for any other 80s babies and see if this really sounds like that era or not.
Well, I could tell you I was alive. All right. 1984. Let's go. Anything we need to know about this song? Just that it's from like an 80s vibe.
Yeah, 80s vibe. I kind of got inspirations from my dad used to listen to Planet Rock and stuff, so he was, tell me about that and everything like that, and I kind of listened to the song and got inspiration from that and some other stuff, but that was the main inspiration.
All right. Let's go. Planet Rock, 1984. Go. Hold on. There we go. All right. Oh, I didn't stop sharing, so it kind of went into that next song. All right, there we
Yeah.
go. Do you know who Turbo and Ozone are?
No, not in this case, no.
No? Oh, okay. So back in 1984, it might have been a little bit before that, there was a a movie called Breakin', and then there was another movie called Breakin' 2: Electric Boogaloo.
I think I've heard of that. I think my dad might have brought that up or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what that track reminded me of. It's like those types of vibes. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So you nailed the era. You definitely got
Okay.
the 80s vibe there, definitely.
That's good.
I wanted to hear some like live DJ scratching on it too. Like if you want to take
Yeah.
it back. Was that one fun to make?
Yeah, it was making name of the Blast in the Past, which that's the song 1984 is on. It's my instrumental album called Blast in the Past, which has 80s and 90s bass elements. It was basically like to challenge myself, to make something different outside of like boom bap and trap and regular hip hop and stuff, to be more versatile and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And I think at that time that's where I wanted to make stuff that I could make that could be in TV and think in general. So I think I was thinking long term. Like I was like, let me make a catalog and stuff, but I didn't know it would be like, oh, I could use that for sync potentially. You
Oh
know,
yeah, definitely,
so
definitely, yeah. And KJ popped in, just so you know.
okay.
But he went to Bridgewater. Was that the school you were talking about? That
Yeah, yeah, Bridgewater. Yep, Bridgewater College.
all
Yeah,
right, all right, all right. I thought it might have been a music school there for a minute since you were both
it's a
there.
liberal arts school.
Oh, okay, all right, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, all right. The way I ended up in Virginia was I was working at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg,
Yep.
like singing in those shows. That's how I
Yep.
ended up like in that area, and then that's where I met Tim and all the guys in that group. So
Okay. Okay.
spent a little time there. It gets way too hot in the summer. That's all I remember.
Hmm.
And in the spring, your car is just covered in yellow dust, like
Yeah,
pollen. Like
straight
pollen.
pollen. Yeah.
Man, that pollen is nuts.
Yeah.
All right. So what's in the future? What are your plans? Like what are your aspirations, dreams, goals, and what are you doing to get there?
I apologize for the phone ringing. Um,
Is that
um,
like a
t-
on is that a landline? Like
yeah, it's a landline. Yeah, I think somebody's calling my grandma right now.
that's
Um,
all right. Well,
um,
we
pe-
played 1984 and that's, everybody had a landline back then.
right. My future is just to continue making music for artists and then making music for sync in general. Um, when I make my beats and stuff like that, just trying to challenge myself to remember like to put stingers at the end, have certain edit points, stuff like that. Lately, I've been making stuff that could be used for both artists and for sync. So just in case an artist doesn't hop up there, I can still use it for sync
Mhm.
and vice versa and stuff like that. So just continue to do what I've been doing and just stay consistent with it, to be honest, and network and everything like that.
Consistency is the key, man. Just keep at it. It sounds like your main focus is like getting on with artists, producing for artists, getting into that side of the music business, and then um, sync might be secondary for you. Does that sound about right?
I feel like it's the other way around. It just so happened that I am working with certain artists because certain artists still want to buy beats from me and stuff like that. But I definitely want to have my main focus to be sync. But I don't mind obviously working with artists and collabing. Actually, I've been trying to put some of my artists that I've been working with for sync. I'd be like, hey, we need to make something that could be used for sync, anything. It'd be anything. And there's
Yeah.
been a couple that's been on board with it and everything like that. So we'll just have to see how that goes and how far that goes and stuff.
Okay, sync first. Clint said it's Davy Dave trying to collab with you. All right. All right. So sync first. Are you currently working on a playlist? And if you are, what type of music is it?
Um, I'm trying to get a little more organized, but I know I started to make more playlists like on disco and stuff like that, to be more organized. I think I had like an 80s instrumental playlist and stuff for cinematic sports stuff and
Hmm.
then other stuff like that. But I gotta get more in tune with making more like playlists for like actual like genres and scenes or whatever, just so I won't
Yeah.
be all over the place.
What do you think's your best genre for sync right now? Like, what do you do the best?
Um, I think it might either be hip hop or pop, pop, like funk and pop and stuff, like funk, pop, and hip hop. I would say.
Um, I would say this is my just general thoughts on it. You take
Right.
it with a grain of salt, whatever you want to do. But
Okay.
it I noticed that happier music is harder to find sometimes. Like upbeat, positive music. Like there's people making hip hop is a lot. Everybody's making hip hop, right? Like everybody's making good sports tracks and all that kind of stuff. But if you can do funk and pop and that type of stuff, it might be worth making a playlist. And there are even some music libraries out there. There's a couple of them that all they do is positive, like you know what I mean, like upbeat
Yeah.
music, and that's good for advertising too. So if you enjoy that type of music, um, maybe try that
Okay.
next on
Okay.
your lineup.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, give it a shot. That intention for some reason, like
Yeah. Attention.
that
Yeah.
like underscore tension, like light tension stuff with light percussion or whatever. There's a lot of people. There's not that many people doing it compared to what the demand is. Like, uh, they need that. Like, if you watch TV, notice
Yeah.
how often they just have that like low playing, slight tension type of music. It's like
Yeah.
every other scene, pretty much.
Yeah.
And when one show could have like 80 to 100 and something cues, right? Music cues in it. And if like I don't know, 40% of those are light tension, you know, that's one episode of one show that needs 50 pieces of music or something like that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
something to keep in mind.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you do like the pop funk stuff,
Yeah.
that'll be you'd have a good chance of getting featured too, because if you make good tracks like that, meaning like your music will be at the forefront. Maybe there won't be dialogue over it, right? Because a lot of
Right.
that type of music has like somebody's dancing or walking down the street or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's not necessarily dialogue over it. And if you have featured music, it pays a little more.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. Um, that's about it. Why don't we play one more of your songs? Let's see what we
Okay.
got here. Uh, if you'd like, if that's okay.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
That's perfect.
I was making sure I heard
Are
like
you
a
good?
okay.
Nah, nah, you good. Yeah, you good. You're
All
good.
right. So beach night, mystery, old man and a young man's body, switched up, sunsets in VA, amen, bona fide, and then there's like a slowed and reverb version of smile as well. That's what's on the list.
um, I guess you can do. I guess you can do Amen.
All right. Anything you want us to know about amen?
Um, it's kind of like a. It's on my sample based instrumental album Stokes and Soul, and it's very, I guess you could say, very soulful, sample the gospel track, and it's kind of boom bap, but it kind of gives that emotional feel. I'm not sure if they'll be able to use for sync or not. Maybe. I mean, like I said, I do have the track lib stuff and documentation and stuff if I'm able to, but
Mhm.
let's just see, But I feel like it's perfect for some type of scene, whether it's emotional, dramatic, or something.
Awesome. Well, and there's something how do I say this? Making music for the joy of making music is
Yeah.
always worth it. Like everything you make does not need to be for sync, right?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe when you're older and maybe it's got to pay the bills, then
Yeah.
maybe maybe
Yeah.
then, but like um when you have those moments where you're just creating music for the joy of making it, and making something that you like, and the vibes and whatever, that's what keeps your soul filled. That's what like
Hmm.
replenishes your spirit.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so don't think everything you make has to go to sync or something like that.
Oh no, I was just saying for this particular track, I can really hear it
In a
inside.
lot of scenes.
Yeah, it just so happened to be like that.
I got you. I got you. All right, cool. Well, let's play it. Amen. Let's go. Let's go. Hold on. That that switched to the other song a lot faster than I thought it was going to. I'm used to having a sting ending. Well, hold up. Here we go.
Oh.
That one snuck up on me. All right, cool, cool. Nah, that was a dope, soulful track, just like you said.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you.
Yeah, I mean, and even if you use samples, they do get synced, especially if like if you have an artist on it and it has radio play or a lot of streams or something like that, it has some popularity. You can iron out a deal. You know what I mean, for
Right.
sync placements and stuff like that. Yeah. And that'd probably be a feature track.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll make anything happen as long as they can secure the rights. They'll figure it
Right.
out.
All
Yeah,
right. Cool.
cool. The only problem would be like if somebody used that same exact sample, you
Yeah.
know, and was more popular than your song, right? Then you couldn't do
Right.
that. Yeah. All right, cool. So thank you for your time. I
I
appreciate
appreciate
you.
you.
Yeah, no worries. You had to travel to your grandma's house and everything, so appreciate
Yeah.
that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna let anybody kind of tell people about the hub that might be watching this that's not already in the hub. Um, and while I'm doing that, if you can think of your best advice you would give somebody that wants to get their music into TV and film, and then at the end we'll share that. Okay. All
All
right.
right.
Cool. All right. All right. So for anybody out there that was watching the Sync Spotlight and listening to Mr. Karl Stokes' music, um, if you're interested in getting your music into TV and film where you can earn royalties and just have your music make you money while you sleep, check out a link in the description. It's the Sync Producer Hub run by Anthony Clint Jr. He put this community together because he has a true passion for helping people get their music into TV and film. It all started a long time ago. I just know from these interviews, it started with um, uh, like audio teachings or something like that. Like it goes way back where he was like, oh, let me get into sync and then let me teach others. It was a course called the Road to 10 Placements, but the original version of that course was like audio only, apparently. um, so he's been doing it for a long time. He's helped a ton of people get their music into TV and film. I'm one of them. I'm living proof. Um, if you want to hear your music on your favorite TV show, that could happen as well. If that's something that you have a dream for. So if you're interested in that, you can learn more. Just click the link in the description, Sync Producer Hub, and learn more about it. Okay, Karl, what advice would you give somebody who never really thought about getting their music into TV, films, and things like that, and they want to start doing it now?
I just say do it. I mean, you got one, you got nothing to lose, and then two, uh, I didn't realize until once I joined this space how much music these companies really need. That your stuff really could possibly fit. So I say do it and be consistent and even be persistent when you don't want to, do it. You never know what could come out of it.
Yeah, amen. The fact that is one thing I want to kind of reiterate is the demand. Like back in the day when people started, sync music, sync licensing, it wasn't even called that then. It was called something else. It was just music licensing. They had 3 channels, like 3 major networks. And then they had, talking about 1984, talking about your track, going back into those days. And then there were 3 channels on UHF that were like local. Um, it was like syndicated TV, but local ads and that type of stuff. But anyway, so there were maybe, think of how many shows that would be that you could possibly get your music on with only 6 channels. Now, how many streaming services are there? How cable still around? You still got your major networks. You got podcasts, you got video games, you've got like all of these other entities out there, even YouTube creators that need music, right? Um, AI needs to scrape your music to make more music, right? Like everybody needs music. And the demand is higher than ever. And I can tell you that the number of musicians out there that are reliable, consistent, hit the mark when it comes to the brief, like, giving them what they need, can take feedback and edits and has that work ethic to go back and, do it until it's right, formatting the music, learning all the details of how to export your stems in a certain way with this bit rate and all these different versions of the songs and cut downs and sting endings and like all of that, right? The amount of people that are willing to have that attention to detail, that consistency, that professionalism, all of that stuff, that are also talented with their music, there's not as many as you think. So if you're somebody out there that's kind of worried that, oh, every musician's trying to make it and I'm just one of them and there's just no way I could do it. There's more demand for music than there's ever been, and there seems to be less musicians with that kind of work ethic, to tell you the truth. So keep that in mind, and if you develop all of that, that's what's going to set you apart, and that's what's going to help you make it with your long-term vision.
Right.
Talking to everybody, not you, Karl.
I know, but still.
All right. Thanks again for your time. Is there any last words you'd like to share to everyone
I
in
don't
the
have
hub? Or in the
no,
group?
I don't have anything. Nah. Um, I appreciate y'all as a family. The feedback that y'all send back to whatever I post and everything like that. And yeah, like I said, truly grateful to find a community like this because there's not too many like this, like genuine people out here that want to help you grow along, as well as they want to grow too. So
Yes. Amen. Oh, that was one of your songs too. Amen.
yeah.
All right. So thank you, Karl. Thank you, Hub. I will see you. We'll see you